What up, everybody? Your Digital Super Saiyan 3 back with another video. And I decided for the month of April and onward that why do only one pay-per-view when I can do two for the month that it comes out on? And since WrestleMania is this Sunday on the WWE Network, I figured I'd go back and review a classic WrestleMania. So which WrestleMania did I choose? None other than WrestleMania 21. Took place April 3rd, 2005 in Los Angeles, California. That's the theme for this WrestleMania was WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. Why did I choose this out of all the WrestleManias to review? Well, 21 just happens to have a big place in my heart. Well, that and there were also other WrestleManias I love, but this one was just an enjoyable one. So, yeah, let's get into the show. Our opening match features Eddie Guerrero taking on Rey Mysterio in a really good opening match. And basically, it's like Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio have never had a bad match against each other. They seem to have a very good chemistry that works so well with Rey and Eddie. And, this was stemming from the fact that both were the WWE Tag Team Champions on SmackDown, and Eddie and Rey decided to have a match at WrestleMania against each other to determine who is the better man. On that night, Rey Mysterio won. So yeah, Rey Mysterio wins in our opening match. It was a very solid opening match, and Rey Mysterio was your victor. I mean, looking back, I can understand why they went with Rey Mysterio on this one, but still I really wanted to see Eddie Guerrero win. I don't know, I was more high on Eddie than I was with Rey. Don't get me wrong, I still love Rey Mysterio, but I just wanted Eddie Guerrero to win. Our next match is the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match, where Edge, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Kane, Shelton Benjamin, and Christian battled to determine who would be the first ever Mr. Money in the Bank. And what a match this was, as all six of these guys were busting their asses off in this match. Jericho, Benoit, Christian, Shelton Benjamin, Kane, Edge. Everyone was busting their ass off in this match. I mean, this was a ladder match, and I love ladder matches. But in the end, Edge won the Money in the Bank ladder match, and, I'm okay. Looking back, I'm okay, and I kind of understand why Edge won. But when I first saw this, I was really hoping Kane would win. I don't know, I really wanted to see Kane be the first Money in the Bank winner. But I kind of understand why they went with Edge in this whole matchup. The Money in the Bank ladder match was a good concept, and I really wish it would have stayed at WrestleMania, because in 2010, however, the last time Money in the Bank was at WrestleMania was WrestleMania 26, and Jack Swagger won the Money in the Bank ladder match. And, oh yeah, let's not forget, also at WrestleMania 26, since it was also the last time that the Money in the Bank ladder match was ever featured, yeah, it also led to Money in the Bank having its own pay-per-view. Which, the one thing that I really want to see, though, in the future for WWE, bring back the Money in the Bank ladder match to WrestleMania, to its original home. WWE, jeez, is that so fucking hard? I really want you to basically bring back the Money in the Bank ladder match to WrestleMania. Not on its own pay-per-view, but WrestleMania. So, next up we get this segment on the show where it features Eugene. Yeah, Eugene. As he's basically happy that he's at WrestleMania. Okay. And Then out comes Muhammad Hassan and Daivari, and they attack Eugene. Eugene is being beaten up. Then out comes Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan kicks the crap out of both Muhammad Hassan and Daivari. So yeah, this was made just to have Hulk Hogan look good. I mean, I get it after the fact that he was inducted the previous night at the Hall of Fame ceremony before WrestleMania. It made sense. And this was back before NXT was a thing. Before we even had TakeOver. Yeah, we didn't even have NXT TakeOver back then. So, you young wrestling fans, consider yourself lucky. Next up, we get a really crappy women's title match as Trish Stratus defeats Christy Hemme. And thing is, at least with Trish Stratus, you know, she came into her own as an in-ring performer. Christy Hemme did not. I mean, later she went to TNA, and even that didn't go so well for Christy. I mean, yeah, she became a ring announcer, but even so, this did not sharpen up her wrestling skills, if she even had any. Like, I know Christy Hemme was the winner of the Raw Divas Search the previous year, and they really, 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 really did not develop Christy Hemme all that well. I mean, yeah, at Vengeance, she had a match with Victoria. So you're meaning to tell me Christy Hemme can hold her own with Victoria? Yeah. I mean, more time at the more time in OVW. Like, she could have had more time in OVW to develop her skills. Was that so hard? Just more time in development? But they really did not want to have her in development all that much. So next up on the show, we get Randy Orton taking on The Undertaker in the Legend vs. Legend Killer match. And yes, this was back while the streak was still sort of alive before Brock Lesnar broke it in 2014. This was still 2005. The streak was still here. But people thought Orton was originally going to be the one to break the streak. With the whole Legend Killer shirts and the whole everything that Randy Orton was doing. But, you know, out of respect for Taker, Undertaker defeats Randy Orton. Like, especially since Orton put over Taker on this one, and the streak was still alive. My favorite moment of this match was when Orton tried to go for the Tombstone Pile Driver, and then The Undertaker reversed it into his Tombstone Pile Driver and Tombstone Orton, and pinned Orton 1, 2, 3. And yes, I know Randy Orton's dad, Cowboy Bob Orton, tried to get involved, and he was also the one who got inducted into the Hall of Fame of that year's 2005 class, since he was there with Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper. Yeah, 2005 had a really star-studded one. Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, Bob Orton. The Iron Sheik was even inducted that year. Yeah, that's just kind of how 2005 was. That they just had that star-studded whole Hall of Fame class. Next up on the show, we get for the WWE Championship, John Cena versus JBL. John Bradshaw Layfield. And looking back, this was an important moment in John Cena's career. This was where he won the WWE Championship for the first time. And I know, this was before it became redundant and became a running thing in WWE that we see John Cena win the WWE Championship. This was the first time, and it definitely says you can't beat your first. Well, while the match itself wasn't all that good, seeing Cena win the title that night was really emotional, and I can understand why they went with Cena, because he was Not only the younger guy and everything, I don't even know why I even rooted for JBL in that match. I don't know. But it is what it is. Next, we get the Piper's Pit segment. Stone Cold Steve Austin as the special guest at Piper's Pit with Rowdy Roddy Piper. And what a segment this was. I know Carlito came out to interfere or try to, do his own thing. Piper wasn't liking what Carlito was doing. Then out comes Stone Cold Steve Austin, raises hell, gives Carlito the stunner. Then he gives Roddy Piper the stunner. And that was pretty much it. I like this Piper's Pit segment because it was just so awesome. And Stone Cold was definitely my favorite guest on Piper's Pit. I don't know, because I just love Stone Cold so much. And yes, I am right now in the middle of making a top 10 Stone Cold Steve Austin's match countdown of my favorite Stone Cold Steve Austin matches. Next up, we get the match of the night, Shawn Micheals versus Kurt Angle in a great WrestleMania classic. Probably the best match on the show, if not the match that stole this WrestleMania for many. And what a wrestling classic this was between Shawn Micheals and Kurt Angle. And it was a great match between Micheals and Angle. I mean, we see Micheals and Angle try to use each other's finishers or moves on each other, like Micheals trying to use Angle's own ankle lock against him, or when Angle tried using a moonsault. It was just so awesome watching Micheals and Angle go through this. And yes, they did have a solid follow-up with the Vengeance rematch they had at Vengeance 2005, but nothing beats the original. And this match, sure as hell, was that original that no one could top. And then, yeah, we got the Hall of Fame class of 2005 that came out. As we saw a lot of the Hall of Famers of 2005, Bob Orton, Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, the Iron Sheik. There was a lot of them that got inducted for that year's class. Next up, we get to the main event. And this is why I chose WrestleMania 21 to review, because also these two participants who were in the main event of WrestleMania 21 are facing off again at WrestleMania for the second time ever. And that is Triple H and Batista. We have Triple H defend the World Heavyweight Championship against Batista. And my God, was this a brutal main event. And I mean brutal, as we see Triple H get busted open when he is propelled into the ring post by Batista after Triple H tried to pedigree Batista on the steel steps. Batista reversed it and flung Triple H into the ring post like a catapult. And then we see Batista pretty much go all out to take down Triple H. And then Batista beat Triple H with the Batista Bomb. Pretty much Batista has Triple H's number, since Triple H has never been able to beat Batista one-on-one. Will that change Sunday? I don't know. But all I know for sure is Batista became the World Heavyweight Champion that night. And yes, he even won the 2005 Royal Rumble. So, yeah, 2005 was a big year for Batista. And you can't deny it did have some importance also for John Cena as well. And, of course, a certain rated R superstar, which I'm referring to Edge, winning the Money in the Bank ladder match. So, yeah, 2005 was a big year, but also it was the year we lost Eddie Guerrero. Which was the one downside to 2005. Still, I cannot deny WrestleMania 21 was a classic. Anyway, this has been your Digital Super Saiyan 3, and I'll see you next time for Backlash 2001.